welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Hello and welcome to the official podcast of the Northern Counties East League. Another weekend has passed that saw plenty of goals, lots of goals for people to enjoy. There were 34 goals in 10 Premier Division matches and a further 37 goals in our 10 Division 1 games. Total of 71 goals across both divisions. That's an average of 3.55 goals per game. Over the entire season so far, we've seen a massive total, 2,604 goals scored, at an average of 3.5 goals per game. It's fair to say 0-0 is not a particularly common scoreline in the Northern Counties East League, occurring just 29 times so far in 736 games. The biggest game of the day in the past weekend was undoubtedly at Hallam, where Premier Division leaders Silsden were beaten 5-1 in front of a crowd of 1,056. That's 9 league wins in a row for Hallam now. We've hit form at just the right time. Golker United remain in promotion contention, winning 4 times in a row to bounce back from a recent poor run. Golker won 5-2 at the weekend at Goole and followed that up with a 3-0 win over Beverley Town on Tuesday evening. Thackley continued to impress. A 2-0 win over Campion was followed by a 3-0 win over Winterton Rangers on Tuesday, a result that sees the Lincolnshire side rooted to the bottom of the table, 10 points from safety with just 5 games remaining. If Winterton lose at Frickley on Saturday, they will be relegated. Albion Sports currently occupy the 5th and final playoff spot, despite suffering a 4-1 defeat at Rossington Main, while Beverley Town and Pickering still have hopes of making the playoffs. At the bottom, only 4 teams can now be relegated, with 2 of Winterton, Goole, Frickley Athletic and Tadcaster Albion set to fall through the trapdoor. Everybody else is now safe. In Division 1, Horbury stay top after a 6-0 win over struggling Dronfield Town, although Wakefield are now just 5 points behind Horbury with 3 games in hand. Wakefield recorded successive 4-0 wins against Yorkshire Amateur and then Worsbridge Bridge Athletic to make it 5 wins in a row and 21 games unbeaten in Division 1. Wombwell Town are third and themselves on a run of 10 games without defeat, although they did drop vital points in the promotion race after drawing 3-3 at home to Swallow Nest. Brigtown and Worsbridge Bridge Athletic occupy the remaining playoff positions, although Dernan District can move above Worsbridge if they pick up at least a point from one of their 2 games in hand. At the bottom, it looks bleak for Yorkshire Amateur, who are now 14 points from safety and who were comprehensively beaten 5-0 by second from bottom Appleby Frodingham on Tuesday night. All 5 goals there came in the last 20 minutes. Dronfield and Nostell remain in danger, with 1 or 2 sides just above them still nervously looking over their shoulders. On to the coming weekend, we have 20 games on offer, 9 in the Premier Division and a further 11 in Division 1. And finally, I'll end by saying congratulations to Knaresborough Town and Penistone Church, who are confirmed now as the first 2 semi-finalists in this season's JCP Construction Northern Counties East League Cup.
Welcome to Seasons Past with Libby Edwards. In this episode, I'm looking back to the 2018-2019 season. The Premier Division contained 16 teams from the previous season, plus 3 promoted clubs from Division 1. Eccleshill United, Knaresborough Town and Yorkshire Amateur. And relegated from the Northern Premier League, Goole. The league was won by Worksop Town, who won 28 and drew 6 of their 38 games, finishing with 90 points. Penistone Church finished second. They won 26 and drew 4, finishing on 82 points. In third place was Bridlington Town, who finished on 70 points. Hall Road Rangers finished bottom, and were relegated along with second bottom, Harrogate Railway. Newcomers to Division 1 were relegated, Parkgate, and promoted from feeder leagues Harworth Colliery and Skegness Town. The league was won by Grimsby Borough. They finished on 84 points, with 26 wins and 6 draws. Runners-up were Campion. They won 25 and drew 7, finishing on 82 points. In third place was Hallam, who finished on 76 points. In the 20-team First Division, Harworth Colliery finished bottom. Bridlington Town had the biggest home win during the season. 10-0 against Liversedge. The biggest away was Hemsworth's 8-0 win at Athersley. The League Cup final was won by Worksop Town, who beat Liversedge 3-1 in the final. This was played in front of 1,075 at Doncaster Rovers. Hemsworth Miners Welfare and Swallow Nest were beaten semi-finalists. The FA Cup saw Hemsworth, Miners Welfare, and Nesborough Town make it to the first qualifying round. Nesborough scored plenty of goals on the way, getting 5 against Blyth and 7 against Kendal. Staveley got 4 against Boston. In the first qualifying round, Nesborough went out to Workington and Staveley to Guiseley. In the FA Vase Winterton Rangers made it to the third round where they lost to Earlham. On the way to the third round, Winterton beat Rossington, Lower Beck and Dinston.
Next up, NCEL Talk. I'll hand straight over to Bob Heywood.
Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, Aaron's not here tonight, so it's myself, Si, Adam and Jordan. So good evening, guys.
Good evening, everyone.
And also, as I always say, good evening to our listener, who we do it all for. Right, let's get straight into it then. And the first match in the Premier League on Saturday was my team, Gould versus Golcar. What a strange match. I mean, Golcar won 5-2, but it was a tale of penalties. There was 4 penalties in 15 minutes. Golcar went 1-up early doors, about after 6 minutes. We replied with a penalty, Jimmy Isles, make it 1-1. And then we got another penalty, but the keeper saved. And then there was another penalty 2 minutes later, which Gary Howlett converted 2-1. And then we just sort of kicked off. Golcar went down the other end, and they was awarded a penalty. So they equalised just before half time to make it 2 each. So after the 4 goals, 3 were penalties. I think that must be a record for any league, really. Very unusual. Very unusual. Then in the second half, Golcar took the lead again straight after the start. It was Callum Petch, ex-Gould player. Ex-Gould player seemed to have a habit of scoring against us. Then Golcar added another one midway through the second half, and then Ollie Russon, ex-Gould player, got one at the end to make it 5-2 to Golcar, which keeps them in track on for the title. It's hotting up at the top with Golcar, Silsden and Hallam. Good game, but I say 4 penalties. Everybody at the match was saying they've never seen 4 penalties in a game before. Right, moving on to the next one. Now then, guys, this is what match is here. Hallam 5, Silsden 1. I mean, it was first versus second, and 4-0 up at half time. And did you see the crowd? Did you see what the crowd was, guys?
Over 1,000, wasn't it?
1,056. That's really good for this level.
It is, isn't it? But I was thinking afterwards. Sheffield Wednesday, I believe, played Friday night, and Sheffield United played Sunday, so that helped them enormously. Tremendous crowd, that 1,056. Brilliant. So yeah, and they were 4-0 up at half time. Was Hallam, so there was really on it on Saturday. Then moving on, Handsworth 1, Tadcaster 1, Knaresborough 3, Frickley 0. And as I always say each week, Gould fans and Winton will keep their eyes on what Frickley, because they're at the bottom with us. Parkgate 3, Bottisford 0, Penistone 1, Beverley 1, Pickering 2, Barton 0. Good win for Rosso, 4-1. Over to you, Adam.
Really good win. Like I said, we played each other on the Monday as well. I'm guessing both teams are quite changed teams about who it been the cup, but say that 1-1 Rosso. Battered Albion really. I mean, don't look like it really close. I mean, I've said it quite a bit. I know Greg Young's the manager as well as player manager, but they just look such a better team with him in the squad. Just because, like I say, he's a more experienced centre half. He's played at pretty much every level in the football pyramid, and we've got quite a young defence as well. So I think it gives them the confidence that they can, he's kind of got the back during the game, and yeah, he got a goal in 6 minutes, and a very good win for Rosso against a good Albion team.
Yeah, brilliant win. Moving on, Thackley 2, Campion 0. So that keeps Thackley in the hunt. Then Winterton 0, Eccles Hill 2. That keeps Winterton down with us, really. Then moving on to Division 1. Right, Harrogate Railway 5, Glasshouse 0. Good result for Harrogate, that. But even a better one, next one is Horbury 6, Dronfield 0. Over to you, Jordan.
Yeah, second half, brilliant. 5 goals in the second half. First half, not so great. We did get a goal just before half time to go in with a lead. Probably a bit of a sucker punch for Dronfield. They had the odd chance themselves to go 1 goal up before that. But we started like a house on fire in the second half. 2 goals within the first 6 minutes, and then 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. Nothing that we didn't deserve probably in that second half. We were in cruise control. Back to winning ways after 3 draws and a loss in the previous 4.
Well, that's the great result. Who's your top scorer at Horbury? Do you know?
Jibril Bojang, I think. He's only, when I look at the top goal scorers in our team, I think he's on 18. We've only got 1 in the top 10 in the league, but we've got like 18 different goal scorers, so we're not just relying on one person this year. Whereas last year, this guy scored 49 as top goal scorer, and he's only on like 16 at the moment, 15, 16. So everyone else is chipping in around him.
Yeah, so that's good if all goals are spread out along the team. Yeah, very good.
That's what you want, is that, isn't it? You want goals from all over your team, because if you've got one striker and your main man gets injured, you've got to be able to rely on everyone else. If it's coming from all over, that's a good thing.
And it must increase confidence in the team, with all the playing together. It's good as that. Right, moving on. Ilkley 1, Durnan District 0. Good win for Ilkley. Louth 2, Lubthorne 1. Maltby 2, Brigg 0. Good result for Maltby because Brigg's been playing well lately. Selby 4, Armthorpe 1. Shelley 1, Appleby 1. That's a good result for Appleby away, because I think the second bottom of the league, so that's a good result getting a point at Shelley. Womwell 3, Swallownest 3. So I think you guys would be happy from dropping points there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were 3-1 up as well.
Yeah.
When we were 3-1 up, and I mean, Swallownest have been doing quite well lately, and showed obviously they can battle. And pulled 2 goals back to nick a point with 3 minutes to go.
Oh, very good. And then we come on to your Worsborough 3. I mean, then they missed one out. Worsborough 3, South Leeds 0. And then Yorkshire 0, Wakefield 4. Over to you, Si.
Not a massive amount really to sort of report on that one. It was a solid win against a team, battling for survival as Yorkshire Amateur are. 2 goals in each half. Fairly comfortable win, but at the same time, one thing I noted from this one, I mean, like, it's the second highest crowd they've had this season. Nostell had 107 there. This was 104. I think the rest of the time they haven't got past double figures, and I always feel for them because they're in a good area, aren't they, Yorkshire? It's a very built up, populated area, and I just wonder why they don't get more people through through the door. And it's teams like that I feel for in this league, because without teams like Yorkshire Amateur, Louth don't get a lot of fans and stuff. Without them, they're in the league. Do you know what I mean? It's
I do understand. Yeah,
I don't know what they can do to build it up.
Yeah, when you can't get three figures on the crowd, it's disappointing, isn't it? You know. Right, moving on then. Going on to Tuesday's fixtures now. First one, we had a cup in quarter final in the NCEL Cup, and it finished Knaresborough 1, Hallam 0. And as I always say, that's a good result for Knaresborough beating Hallam, but it's always a tough place to go to, is Knaresborough, on their own pitch. So a good result puts them into the semi-finals of the NCL. Good result for Knaresborough on that one. Then moving on to Tuesday night, we've got Albion. This is in the Prem. Albion 3, Tadcaster 2, and it was a Nathan Cartman hat trick there. But I think that's a good result. Golcar 3, Beverley 0, and I think I saw that's a good result for Beverley. But I saw I think one of the Golcar players, Jake Kenny, he suffered a serious injury on the night, so I'd just like to wish him all the best from everybody on the podcast. Then going to go to Barton 1, and it was that man Jimmy Isles again for us. I think you said side before that he'll get us goals, wouldn't you?
Yeah, when he played for Wakefield, he always looked like a dangerous player. He's one of those natural finishers that knows where the goal is. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't need to look up, and he finds the goal from very obscure angles when he was with us. And I think one of your goals was from quite an acute angle, wasn't it? From what I saw on the video.
Yeah, the second one, yeah. Because Jimmy put us one up it was 0-0 at half time. Then he put us one up in the 53rd minute, and then Barton equalised in the 82nd. Oh, we're gonna drop points here. But then he came up with a winner towards the end, and 1-2-1 because we've got to win all our home games to stand any chance of escaping relegation. But looking at the facts and figures, Jimmy now he's scored 8 goals in the last 10 games. So that's really good, really, in any form in the league. And we had on Tuesday we had Richard and Aaron doing the FM commentary, FM Barton FM. We had 2 more guys doing a commentary came down, did a commentary, and then we had Joe Skelton on his YouTube. So we had quite a lot of interest, which was unusual, but it was a poor crowd. We only had 114 hardy souls. So we hope we can increase our crowds in the next 2 home games. Right then, moving on.
Bob, what's your running looking like for the end of the season? Well, does it look like you can get the pot? Are there some very winnable games?
We've got Handsworth on Saturday. Could be winnable. I hope it's going to be winnable. Well, I think it's got to be winnable. And then we play Winterton next Tuesday. That's a big game for us. So that's then we'll wait to Knaresborough. Always tough to go there. And then we've got Thackley away on the 29th, and then Hallam. That would be a dream thing. I was saying to some chaps on Tuesday night, if Hallam need to win it to beat us, and we need a win to stay up, that would be something, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. I'd settle for that at this stage, though, to be honest. But there you go. Right, Division 1. After 5, Yorkshire Amateur 0. I know it's the bottom 2 there, but a good result for Appleby. That's 5-0.
That's a huge one, that, because I think it's 5 points for gap now between the 2 of them.
Yeah. I agree. Athens is 0 at 1-1. Oh dear, lads. You're hoping there maybe could be a 0-0 there. Just give you a bit more breathing space to your teams, Si and Jordan. But
we actually got the news at the match that we were at. Someone read out to us that it was the other way around, and we were all quite happy. And then they realised they'd actually read the score the wrong way around. So that put a bit of a dampener on the Tuesday for us because we thought it was 1-0 to Athersley, and it wasn't.
Well, you'd be elated and then deflated, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Right. moving on, Clubthorne 2, Brig 1. Good result for Clubthorne against Brig, because Brig's been playing well. Dronfield 2, Armthorpe 3. Good away win for Armthorpe. Ilkley 3, Louth 0. And then we come to this one, Shelley and Nostell, match abandoned.
Ooh.
So there's
What went on there then?
Well, looking on the NCL, not many people commented. I think Shelley were 2-0 up. I think it was abandoned at half time. I think there was a bit of what can I say? I don't want to get. Yeah. Something went off, but no doubt there'll be an FA inquiry. And Matt Jones will be involved on there, I would imagine. So, but it's not good for a game to be abandoned after. But we'll maybe discuss this in future podcasts when we know more.
When the knowledge is out, yeah.
Yeah, when the knowledge is out. I don't want to speculate.
Why?
And moving on. Then Wakefield 4, Worsborough 0. So over to you again, Si.
Yeah, this was one of the best performances I've seen for a long time. First half was exceptional. Worsborough couldn't even look at their media. They said like they couldn't really cope with us in that first half. We were just better. Which to say it was Worsborough, I think that's quite an achievement. Is that because they're a side who's pushing for the playoffs and can beat anyone on their day. They're a very tough team. So yeah, we got up to 4-0 at half time with some good football. Had then a player sent off at the start of the second half for a second yellow, which I thought was a little harsh. It wasn't so much the yellow that got in the second half that was harsh. It was the one in the first half because it was a shirt tug and nothing more. And it wasn't even like in a dangerous area. I think it was just at that point where the ref was deciding he was going to try and clamp down on the game a little bit. But yeah, if you're already on a yellow, don't do something silly. And he tried to block a quick free kick, and yeah, that was probably a deserving yellow. And there you go, for lost to play with that. But from there, then it was just more controlling the game and keeping the score as it was. And we still had a few good chances. And when Worsborough had chances, our keeper was top draw to keep them out. So yeah, I think it was a solid performance, was that, and keeps the pressure on at the top. All ready for the upcoming weekend, which we'll come on to when we look at the fixtures.
We will. Right, and moving on to Wednesday night, we had another quarter-final of the NCEL Cup. Penistone won, Handsworth won. And that went to penalties, and Penistone won it 5-4 on pens. So they're into the semi-final, so well done, Penistone. Then into the Premier League, a lot of goals at this on Campion 3, Parkgate 4. And there were 2 goals, both for either side in the 90th minute. You had your money's worth there on Wednesday, 7 goals. Yeah, definitely. And Eccleshill 2, the other game on Wednesday night, Eccleshill 2, Bottisford 1. Good result for Eccleshill. So what we'll do before we look onto the fixtures, we'll go onto the tables after the Saturdays and Tuesday, Wednesdays games, and we'll start in the Prem, and it's getting very tight with the top 3 or 4 teams. We've got Silsden played 32, 68 points. Golcar 32, 65 points. Hallam 32, 63 points. Thackley 34, 62. Albion 31, 59. Beverley 33, 56. Pickering 34, 52. Then Campion 31, 47. So it's going to be very interesting between Silsden, Golcar and Hallam with 6 games to go. Who's going to pick up to get that automatic spot?
Good week for Golcar. They obviously won the game in hand. Won their game, and Silsden lost heavily as well. So really close the gap to just 3 points.
Yeah, because I mean, about a couple of weeks ago, they were having some dodgy results away, Golcar, and so they've come back into it really well.
Yeah, just at the right time as well.
Yeah, and if you're going to do it end of the season for a run-in, that's always good, isn't it?
Same way.
Sorry.
Same with Faculty a bit as well. They had 2 wins this week, and it looked like I say, Beverley were and Albion were kind of on the heels a bit, but we've just kind of, like I say, cemented that playoff spot a bit more. I think it's 6 points now. Dropping out, so
they're 6 points behind Seals, which have been played 2 more, so they're looking at a playoff spot, really, aren't they? I would imagine, not the automatic spot. Right, we'll go to the bottom. Oh, we've come off the bottom. Go, yay! I think it's the first time this season we've been off the bottom.
Congratulations.
Thank you, John. I think was there a bit of sarcasm there?
No, I'm very pleased here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it just gives everybody a bit of a boost. Players, supporters, I don't know what Richard Narron thought, because they're doing the commentary on the Tuesday night. But so we needed that, and we need to win our upcoming games. But we'll get onto that shortly. So Winton at the bottom, Winton 33-20, Gould 33-21, Frickley 33-30. There's still a 9-point gap and a superior goal difference. And Tadcaster 34-35. So it really, as I said last week, it's 2 and from the bottom 3. But time's running out for only 5 games left. So we need to win. Well, we need to win on Saturday. But as I say, we'll come up with the fixtures shortly. Then going to Division 1. It's tight in Division 1. Aubrey 36, 80 points. Wakefield 33-75. Wombwell 33-72. And then there's a 9-point gap down to Brig, 36-63. The Worsborough 35-63. Durham District 33-62. Ilkley 35-61. And a bit of a gap to Selby 35-55. So really, looking at this, it's anybody the title automatic is Aubrey, Wakefield, and Wombwell. I'm thinking, don't you think so, guys?
Yeah. I think we at least all 3 of us know that we've got a home playoff tie at the minimum, so that's something, I guess.
Good point. Is that actually? Yeah.
And then we'll look at the bottom. Yorkshire Amateurs 35-15. Appleby have improved their position because they've got 4 points last 2 games, 35-22. Dronfield 36-29. Nostell 34-29. Athersley 32-36. So they've improved the position as Appleby. But Yorkshire Amateurs looks like they're finishing bottom spot at this stage, I would say, with but we'll see. I think they've got 7 games to go up there. So
Say something about Yorkshire Amateur. They're at bottom there. They've got a negative goal difference, which is massive. They've got 15 points all season. They didn't give up for 90 minutes. And that, I think that's the thing that I do respect about it. Is like they didn't give up or anything when they were playing us. And I don't think they have done against any team, even when they get beaten. Do you know what I mean? It must be tough doing that. But credit them, they kept going.
Tell me about it. Go. Unless we picked up points, we've got more points in the last 10 games than we had all the season, So I know how they feel when you're struggling. You're thinking, where's your next result going to come from? Right then, before we move on to the fixtures, let's do team of the week. Team of the week. So we'll go to Adam first.
Yeah, there's quite a few you could say, to be fair, this week. I mean, I think even apart from Aaron and Rich, I think we could all even say our own teams and no one would really complain. But for me, it's got to be Appleby Frodingham this week. Picked up a point on Saturday and a massive 5-0 win against the team just below them on the Tuesday. So we've picked up 4 points, which, could be huge. It looks like they're not going to finish bottom now. And like I say, if it comes to points per game or anything, they've gained 4 really valuable points come the end of the season. And with how tough it's been for him all season, it's been a really good week for him. So Appleby Frodingham is my team.
Jordan, what's your team of the week?
I will go for Ilkley. There are a few disappointing results, and it made it look as if playoffs was pretty much done for them. They probably couldn't have got there, but beat Durham District on Saturday, and then they beat Louth, they'd won the last 5, and they'd pulled themselves away from the relegation battle. And they've put themselves well and truly back in the playoff mix. They're only 2 points off there now. Whereas before, I think they were about 5 or 6 before Saturday. So yeah, Ilkley, they've come back into it.
Very good. Si, your team of the week?
I think it's a very good shout, is that actually? I'll go with Goal then, just because I think it was that 3 points that you really needed. You lose that one, and I can't see you coming back from it. I think you've given yourselves at least a lifeline with that. How vital that last few minutes must have been to concede, but then to fight back and actually take the win rather than a draw. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Si. It was squeaky bum time. I have to say when you 2-1 up, when you want the win, definitely. Well, I'm going to for my team of the week. I'm going to agree with Adam. Appleby Frodingham. I think to go away to Shelley 1-1, and then win at home 5-0, 4 points from 2 games, drag themselves away from the bottom. I think that's positive. It'll be interesting to see what they do going forward now as well. So my team of the week is Appleby Frodingham. Right, let's go on to the fixtures then. We'll start in the Prem this coming Saturday. Albion Sports at home to Campion. And just a note, I did see in the kick-off time in the two-stage chat is 5:30. So I can only presume that maybe Bradford Park Avenue is playing a bit earlier.
Bradford Derby, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. Unless they want to delay the kick-off so they get a bigger crowd, I don't know. I'm not seeing if Bradford at home or not, but it is. It's a Bradford Derby. Yeah, definitely. Then Barn at home to your team, Adam Rossington.
Should be an interesting match.
Yeah, and Rosso will be looking for the win again just to keep themselves up there, won't they? Then we've got Beverley home to Pickering, Bottisford home to Penistone, Eccleshill home to Hallam. Well, Hallam will want to be looking for the win there to keep on board for the title. And then Frickley versus Winderton. Well, we keep our eyes close on that one. I'm not, from a goal perspective, I'm not quite sure what that result would be. They see Frickley win, they're getting further away from us. If it's a draw, it's still another point. So, because we've got to play Winton on Tuesday, do we want Winton to win? I don't know.
Yeah, you've got to take a winner to win with that one, because either way, whatever happens, you've got to catch Frickley.
Yeah.
No matter what. So you need Frickley not to drop points, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, but it's a bit from a goal perspective. Me for saying want Winton to win, will they let me into the VPG on Saturday? We'll see.
Thing is as well, if you beat Answorth and then you beat Winston, you've got a 5-point gap on them. So
yeah. That's true. Right, then we've got following on Golcart versus Knaresborough. So Golcart will be looking for a win there as well to keep on the automatic spots, or chasing that automatic spot. Goole versus Handsworth. Well, that's a game. Oh, it's a must-win game for us. We've got 2 home games now. This one on Tuesday, so it's another 6-pointer. But hopefully the lads can take confidence from Tuesday night and bring the 3 points home again. Fingers crossed. And then on the last game of the Prem, Silverton at home to Parkgate. And I would say at this stage it's a must-win for Silverton, really. But Parkgate would be a tough game, but they want to come back after that 5-1 drubbing at Hallam the previous Saturday, won't they? So we'll see on that one. Moving into Division 1, Appleby versus South Leeds, Armthorpe versus Shelley, Atherton versus Selby. Oh, and then Brigg versus Nostell. Now that's going to be at Winterton, the Brigg match, because they're having some work done on the ground at Brigg, I understand. So that's at Winterton. Clubthorne versus Maltby, Durham District versus Louth, Dronfield versus Ilkley. Glassalton versus Horbury. Over to you, Adam. Oh, not Adam, Jordan.
Thank you. Yeah, we need to back up last Saturday, really. If we win, we know we're guaranteed to gain on one or two of Wakefield and Woolwell who play each other this weekend. So, yeah, as long as we win, we'll be even more satisfied knowing that we've picked up some additional points over two other automatic promotion rivals. So, yeah, first and foremost, a win for us, and then we'll be happy with pretty much any of the results below.
Right then, moving on. Harrogate home to Yorkshire Amateurs. Swallownest versus Worsborough. And then Wakefield versus Wanwell. I reckon you'll get a good crowd that one.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's one of them. At this point of the season, it's probably one of the key games for the rest of the season. I think it's not going to make or break it for anyone, but it's certainly, if one team loses, makes it more difficult to overtake Horbury, as Jordan says. They've got the points on the board. The two teams below them need to keep winning to catch up to them. So yeah, it's going to be exciting and probably a bit nerve-wracking, I dare say, at the same time. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Very good, very good. Then moving on to Tuesday night, Beverley at home to Rossington in the NCEL Cup quarterfinals. Will we go into that one, Adam?
Probably. I'm thinking about going. It's a long one for a Tuesday night, but I don't like going to Beverley, so I'll probably make the trip down.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Should be a good crowd as well, I would imagine. Beverley gets some good gates, don't they? Good attendances.
Yeah.
Then there's another quarter-final that night. Dorcar at home to Susan, so that should be a good game. At least they haven't got the league pressures on them two sides, but they'll be wanting to both teams will be wanting to progress. And then moving on to the Tuesday night fixtures, as I already said, Goole at home to Winterton. Well, that is a must-win game for Goole. Just we want to stay off the bottom if we can. So it's a big 6 points. And on that night, we've made the game a pay what you want in the hope. Well, also to hope we can get a good crowd to get behind the lads, and also a bit of a reward for our supporters coming to watch us this year. So it'll be pay what you want, and hopefully you get a good crowd on that night under the floodlights. Should be a good game. And then we've got on the panel also Hallam versus Campion. So Hallam will want to keep up on their title challenge. And moving into Division 1, Club Thorn versus Woolwell. Again, you guys will be watching, keeping your eyes on what Woolwell are doing at Club Thorn.
Won't be an easy match, that either.
Yeah, well, because Club Thorn, they've been playing well. It's home form, I think home form pretty good. So give Woolwell a good game, I think. But we'll see. And then we've got Durnan District home to Athersley. Glassalton versus Appleby. Nostell versus South Leeds. And Yorkshire Amateurs versus Selby. And then on the Tuesday night, we've got Worsborough versus Harrogate Railway. So should be a good game. So I'm just thinking, guys, for Wakefield and Horbury, what's your runnings looking like? Are they looking tough? Have you got more home games in the way, or do you know?
We've probably got the easiest on paper, but now I've said that, we'll probably get beaten all of them. So, yeah, I think we've only got Ilkley. We've got Ilkley, Maltby, Harrogate Railway, Yorkshire Amateur, and Louth. Our final 5 before obviously Glassalton this weekend as well. But yeah, so we've not really got. We've got Ilkley, probably the toughest one, who are in and around the playoffs, but quite a few of them have just got nothing to play for. So yeah, it should well, we're hoping to pick up maximum points from all these 6, to be honest, and then put the pressure on big time to those 2 below who have got tougher fixtures than us, in my opinion.
So what's your running looking like, Si?
5 at home, 4 away. Obviously, Saturday's match against Woolwell's a big one, but as Jordan pointed out last week, we still got to face a lot of sides that are battling for that playoff position. So every game's going to be a tough one. We've got Worsborough, we've got Ilkley, we've got Durn, and they're all, I think Maltby and Brigg aren't too far off as well. And we've got them last 2 games at season. But at the end of the day, if you want to win this, you've got to beat the best, haven't you? So we've got to be up to it to beat these teams in order to do it.
Yeah.
And as John, there's no easy games at this level for any of us. A lot of these teams can beat anybody on their day. We go back to that match with Silsden and Winterton. Wasn't it a couple of weeks back? We'd never have thought that would be a case.
No.
Someone can turn up on the day, and you never know what's going to happen. So yeah. I think like John says, we've got a tougher run in. I'm not sure what Woolwell's is like. I've not looked at theirs, but yeah, we'll just take it each match at a time and see how we get on. As I'm sure the other 2 teams will.
Plus the fact when you get towards this time of the season, maybe some of the players might get a bit nervous because they know there's a lot riding it. It might affect the performance. You just don't know, do you? If you was to go down a goal early, you're thinking, oh, we're going to go down. We need to get equalised to keep.
There's a lot of mentality comes into it at this stage of the season, doesn't it? Apart from it's not just ability; it's about keeping your heads as well.
Yeah. So on the playoffs, if the top team goes up, what the playoff is it second place, 5th, and 3rd will play 4th?
Yes.
And 2nd and 3rd are at home.
The highest ranked side of the 2 winners then play they get the home in the final.
Right. So second. So right. So, yeah.
The second spot's probably very important. Then you guaranteed a home semi-final and a final if you win. So
yeah,
you don't finish first, second.
Yeah, that's right. Because if you finish 3rd, you could still be away actually in the playoff final, couldn't you? Yes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm starting to get nervous now. I hate this point of the season. I like the early bit of the season when you're just playing football and stuff. Now it's the nearer you get to the end of the season, the more there is riding on it.
Yeah. Well,
it's nice when you've got no to play for.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about this going forward in a few podcasts. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting in Division 1 and interesting in the Premier. Who's going to win the title and who's going to be actually make the playoffs? Really interesting indeed, isn't it? Really,
it's quite good this year because, like I say, last year we, especially in Premier, like Emlyn had run away with it quite a bit before the end of the season, and so it's nice. It's for both divisions. I mean, obviously, you had like about 4 teams in Division 1 last year who were all fighting for it, but it's nice to see in both divisions it's wide open still.
Yeah, it makes it better, doesn't it? Because as you say, Adam, Emily ran away with it last year, didn't they? So, and I think you could see that they was going to win the title quite a few weeks in. So, so it makes it really interesting, and hopefully you get better crowds following these teams, and that's what you want, isn't it? Really. So as I say, we'll all look forward to our football this coming week, and hope it's going to get some good results, and fingers crossed. We've all got smiles on our faces next week.
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.